as people and as entrepreneurs, people are maybe, I think many young entrepreneurs maybe underestimate the value of relationships. Okay. And so I think patience in relationships is something that I'd love to just hear from you, right? About the value of relationships in business, just relationships in life, and how it's an ecosystem for yourself, right? It's an ecosystem that, you need to have the right relationships. How do you make those choices, and how do you have patience in those relationships?
Well, first of all, they say you're a culmination of the 5 people you spend the most time with, right? I'm just here I am repeating more things.
No new ideas.
So none left. So you're a culmination of the people you spend time with, right? And that means, what are their interests, what their priorities, who are they, what do they believe, whether they, that has a huge influence on you. I mean, we're communal creatures, right? We really, when they look at, people living longer and all these things, it's always connected to what kind of community they have, what kind of relationships they have. It's all about relationships. If you want to get into, probably 2 of the most powerful relationships you're ever going to have in your life, and you think about the importance of patience in those relationships, think about a wife if you're married, and tell me how your relationship would be, or a husband, in a relationship of marriage. Tell me what kind of relationship that's going to be if people aren't practicing patience. I'd like to see what that looks like.
A volatile one, most likely.
Not great. And then also parenting, crazy parenting. If parenting doesn't make you patient, I mean, I told somebody, I go, parenting is like building a samurai sword. And they go, what do you mean? I go, well, parenting is like when they build a samurai sword, you take a piece of steel and you heat it up until it's red hot, and you beat it with a hammer, and then you stick it in ice. And you just do that over and over and over. And eventually it's the strongest steel in the world. Well, your kids take you, they heat you up, they beat you with a hammer, and they stick you in a bucket of ice, and they do it over and over and over. And that is a patient process, right? That is a patient process, because as you're getting heated up, and then you're getting beaten, you're going to go to the ice, and then it's going to be back into the same thing. But so, I think that, who you know is where you go. I mean, it's all about, that's why it's so important to have good human relations. I mean, if you look at the success, you have to have that somewhere along the line. I mean, people can have great ideas and be idea people, but then they're in the closet, and you have to have somebody else who has good human relations in the front. But if you're talking about business, it's all about that. It's all about your ability to, unless you're like in a weird job where you can just, hide in your room, which there are those, and there's a lot of that, especially now. But we get back to the lack of, we're seeing so many things going on right now in our society because of the isolation, that even through digital communication, this communication that we're having, the digital communication doesn't quite have what we're having. Yeah. We're here and we're communicating with eyeballs, and we have all these other things happening. I mean, the people that watch this and see this are able to benefit from our conversation. But when it comes to, I always used to say eyeballs, not emails. It's like never mind the let's have interaction, because it's crucial for our wellness. Like we need to have that.